Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Wednesday, January 8th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown, so if you're someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. And also, if you trade Bitcoin, I will do a bonus analysis at the end. First off, a couple clarifications. Number one, the candlestick that you see right there will still be moving around and change. And the market's still open for a little bit of time. But I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. Second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each of these candlesticks here represent 30 minutes worth of time. So stock number one, ticker symbol HOTH. Big mover today, and now we have a nice little consolidation here. So price has just been chopping around and is now giving us some very well-defined technical levels to watch headed into Wednesday. So first key area from a resistance standpoint, right up here around $3.35. And to me, that's the level where, now there are no guarantees, but if the price can come up to that area and then get a break of that level. But the key thing, in my opinion, high volume break. So a high volume break of that level, again, no guarantees, but I think there's a great chance that this thing revisiting those highs, if not even going further than that. But like I said, one hurdle at a time. Prices first got to get up there, then the price has got to break through it, and thirdly, that break has got to be occurring on a high volume. You don't want some little small little volume break like that. That's not going to be too confidence inspiring. In terms of levels of support, key level from the ideal standpoint, meaning, hey Clay, what would make this chart look the absolute strongest going forward? That would be if the price can stay above 207, but from the overarching standpoint, just watch that purple line right there, the 50 period, a simple moving average. Keyword being moving. As time goes by, that line is going to move itself higher and higher and get more and more relevant. And as long as the price does stay above there, then again, from the overarching standpoint, that implies that price is putting in higher lows, and that's the name of the game. But overall, big volume today, big volatility, so we'll see how it continues to play out. Next one here, XTIA, monster volume on this one today. And it's all just a question of what was your perspective going in. So this is a very tricky chart to talk about from my standpoint, as from a presentation viewpoint, because if you're some sort of day trader, flipper, scalper, whatever you want to call yourself, and you were buying right there, or you bought the dip right there, and your plan was to buy and sell with 15 minutes, well, from that standpoint, the chart is an absolute train wreck. Now, if you do care about the bigger picture point of view, overall, the price does still have the opportunity to build a higher base, and it actually held above an important level. And that level, I don't even think it necessarily tested it, did not, was that gap close location. And I'm not saying this will occur, but just for explanation's sake, let's say the price actually does come down here, closes the gap, then behaves like that, and then starts to curl back upwards. Now, emphasis here on big picture. From the big picture standpoint, what do you have? Well, you'd still have a set of lows there. You'd have those lows down there. And if you envision each one of those as stair steps, what do you have? Well, from the big picture, you'd still very clearly still have stair steps progressing in the upwards direction. And that's what it's all about from an overarching standpoint. You just want to see those higher lows being built, because higher lows over time is what, again, constructs those uptrends. Once again, I understand if you're a day trader, that bar right there, you don't care about these stair steps. That's why I'm trying to make a distinction between those that care about more so a day trading framework versus somebody that cares about more so the bigger picture standpoint. So yeah, was this a really disastrous chart for you today? I don't know. It all depends on what your strategy was going into the trade. Next one, FUBO, did this one in yesterday's video, and overall good solid day today, higher highs and higher lows, and that's the name of the game. First update comes about based on the foundation rule in charting, which states when levels of resistance are broken and closed above, you want to see them act as support. So preferably speaking, again, what would make the chart look the absolute strongest going forward? That would be if the price can stay above 525. But if the price falls below there, that doesn't mean the chart's destroyed or ruined or anything like that. But yeah, if the price could stay above there, definitely a good sign. I am going to go ahead and get rid of that level. Sure, it still does pertain, but I don't want to risk causing confusion because there's lines and clutter everywhere. And then as I just talked about from the big picture wise, just watch that purple line as itself moves higher and higher, or, as I like to call moving averages, trend lines for lazy people. So just let the quote unquote trend line draw itself for you. And as long as the price does stay above that level, then the overall trend is still in the bull's favor. In terms of levels of resistance, no need to overcomplicate this. Just a question of where did the party stop today? And right up there around $6.40 was the key battleground. You can see right there rejected, right there slightly above it, right there slightly below it. So this general area right here will be key battleground moving forward. But like I started off saying, overall, put in a higher high, put in a higher low, and that's what you want to see. Next one, DATS. And in all actuality, not a whole lot I can say about this one in terms of patterns and stuff like that, because it's essentially at all-time highs. But what I can point out, and what ultimately matters most, I would argue, for us as traders, is it's got two things going for us. Number one, very, very impressive volume. No doubt about that. Number two, very, very impressive movement, very, very impressive volatility. And again, as traders, that's what we need in order to, well, be traders. You need volume and you need movement. You need volatility, and this one has both of those. But as I speak right now, this thing is continuing to push to higher highs. Now, for those of you that maybe like to play pullbacks, interesting pullback area on this one could be right down here around the $5.10 mark. Again, from the big picture standpoint and keywords certainly being moving, because I understand price is way up here. That purple line's way down there. But as time goes by, that line is going to move itself higher and higher and get more and more relevant. But from the overarching standpoint, if you're saying, how do I gauge the health of the current movement? Just watch that purple line. As long as the price is above it, the overall movement is still plenty healthy. But in terms of breakouts or anything like that, this thing's pushing highs, but circling back. It's got volume. It's got volatility. So if you like this price range, here you go. It's got the other ingredients. Next one, SVMH, and we got a bit of a pullback here this afternoon, which now brings about an interesting level that I'm curious, will it pull back to, and if so, can it hold? And this is the former breakout point right down here at 0.0625. Going back through the history of things, you can see that this area has behaved as a resistance several times before, and that just goes back to that rule when levels of resistance are broken and closed above. You want to see them act as support, and if this price comes down, no guarantees, but it is certainly a valid spot if you were to say, you know, Clay, I think it could bounce from that area. Again, that's not guaranteed to happen, but I can totally understand why you would think that, and I would say that's a plausible trade plan. So if you like to play pullbacks and bounces, that level right there becomes a very interesting level. In terms of key battlegrounds moving forward, if the price does try to curl back upwards, main area of resistance seems to be right up there around 0.088. So yes, again, depending on how you're playing this one, those day traders that bought right there, this chart is a train wreck, but if you do care about the bigger picture, then yeah, still plenty of opportunity to build a higher low, even with the pullback. Real quick, want to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online webinar that I'm offering here later on in the week. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency and manage risk, then definitely get signed up for the free live class. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box you can use, or if you're watching right at my website, there's an area on the webpage there that you can use to sign up. So like I said, if you've been enjoying, then definitely get signed up for this free webinar. Next one here, ticker symbol NVDA, and this thing was just, in charting terms, an absolute gap and trap, nasty move. When you stop to think about the fact that the price gapped all the way up here, and I think some poor souls were buying right there. Hopefully they had stop losses, and then from there, well, the rest is history. Big move down, little bit of a dead cat, and then rolling back down. So yeah, brutal day on this one, no doubt about it. So as far as areas of support are concerned, I'm just going to go ahead and use this line. The level that a lot of people are going to be watching, rightfully so, right here at about 140.35. Nothing fancy behind this logic. That's just simply where this big nasty move finally stopped. So if the price comes down here, it becomes a valid question. Will it be some sort of double bottom when it goes like this and heads back up? If it does, well, then the key area of resistance to watch immediately will be that purple line there, the 50-period moving average, which you can see now is starting to act as a very stubborn area of resistance twice today. Price tried to get back above it, could not. So that doesn't mean that the price can never get above it. I'm just saying it makes sense why the price is struggling at that purple line. So if it is a double bottom and it starts to bounce again, that 50-period moving average purple line will be the main area of resistance. If it's not a double bottom and it just breaks down through there, at that point, no guarantees, but more than valid to think that the price will at least drift down and then do battle with that 200-period moving average. And then it just becomes a question of can it hold. The current value of that is at 137.30. But yeah, no need to beat around the bush. Just a terrible, nasty gap and trap day. Now, I suppose if you shorted at the highs, then today was beautiful. But assuming anybody was bullish or long, yeah, brutal movement. Next one here, AUR, and overall nice pattern here. What do I mean by that? Well, let's get this in play. So top part of the pattern is that resistance trend line right there, which is denoting the pullback that's been underway. And then at the same time, you have this pullback. You have this nice little established location of support down here. So let me change that to green to represent support. And then just to make the pattern easier to see, let's keep it one color. So we have our area of resistance. We have our support. And then you have this monster move up like this. And then for you golfers out there, trying to make it a little bit more visual for you, put the golf down here. And this would be known as a bull pennant pattern. Now, just because it's a bullish pattern does not mean for sure guaranteed the price is going to go up. But is it valid? Is it logical to think that if the price can curl upwards and get through that break, that area right there could induce more buying pressure, even if you just want to say it's a self-fulfilling prophecy? Yeah, that is a certainly valid thought process to have. So if you like this price range down below $10, you like bull pennants, keep an eye on it. Next one here, TSLA Tesla. And overall, I think the main level that a lot of people have put into play now, just because this is very straightforward from a resistance standpoint, is that trend line right there. So not trying to impress you, not trying to imply that's a great skill or special discovery. I think a lot of people have done that. And and I make all those comments because when lots of people are watching the same trend lines and wondering the same thing, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want. it can produce some very, worthwhile and a very logical trade plan. So I could see if the price comes up here, some people saying, I want to get short because I think it's going to come back down. Well, I mean, that makes sense. It's done it a couple times already. Other people may be saying, no, I think if it breaks that level, I want to get long because that would be a sign of a breakout. Again, none of those people are guaranteed to make money. That's why risk management matters, but there's at least a logic. There's at least a rationale going behind those decisions, and that's where that trend line here comes into play. In terms of levels of support, key level to keep an eye on moving forward is going to be this little consolidation area right here around the 385 mark. 385, I'm not going to say is do or die, but if the price were to come down there and break below there, at that point, all of a sudden now you have the price having gone right back to where it was. Not exactly a sign of genuine strength when something makes a huge move up and all of a sudden goes back to where it was. Again, I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but that is why, in my opinion, 385, very, very important. Next one, RIME, and one of these that's very difficult to talk about from my position as the presenter because, yes, day traders that bought right there, absolute train wreck. But if you care about the bigger picture, the price does still have an opportunity to build those higher bases. And moving forward now, that level that would be, best case scenario would certainly be the price being able to stay above the 18-cent mark right there. So keep an eye on that. But as I've talked about previously, even if the price does not hold above that level, you do have the purple line there, 50-period moving average, which will continue to move itself higher and higher and serve as the overarching trend line. In terms of levels of resistance, if the price does try to curl itself back around, key level here that's really been established this afternoon right there at 0.227. You can see on 3 occasions there, once, twice, 3 times. Actually, really, if you want to count that, a 4th time right there. Price has gotten up around that area and just has not been able to push through. That doesn't mean it's impossible, but it does mean that for every reason, sellers have shown up around that area. And if you're looking to play some sort of reversal, that seems to be the key reversal point to keep a close eye on. But all in all, it is a penny stock. It's got a whole lot of volume, which is important with penny stocks. So if you like this price range, keep an eye on it. Next one here, PLUG, and overall it did pull back a bit today, but by no means a crash or anything like that. It wasn't like an NVDA or anything. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that level because really what I'm seeing now is a bit of a, I'll keep that line. I'm debating, should I keep 325? But yeah, 325 actually just solidified itself that much more as a key level. Yeah, there was a false breakout of it, the opening 30 minutes, but then you can see the next period right there. That is right where the price got rejected from it. So I will keep in that as more so the overarching level. In more the near term though, we do have now an overall pattern that's starting to form, so I'll make this a little bit different so easier to see. So we have our area of resistance there. We have our area of support right there. And then just to make this maybe easier to see, so we have a bit of a downwards channel that is formed, but if you care about the bigger picture, part of that is saying, yeah, fair enough, it's got a little bit of a downward channel, but what was happening before the downward channel, you would say, well, the price made this huge move here, which is now giving me the ability to draw a bull flag pattern. So bull flag pattern, if you like these sorts of patterns, you like prices down below the $5 mark, keep an eye on it. But even with the break of the bull flag, definitely keep an eye on that 325 mark. I'll get to Bitcoin here in just a moment, but again, for you stock traders out there, if you like what you saw here and you want to learn more about the tool, then definitely get signed up for the free live class. It'll be soon, Thursday, January 9th at 8 p.m. Eastern time, so I hope to see you there. And then as far as these top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy these and you're looking for a way to support the channel in a super easy and free way, please hit that subscribe button. It really does help out. All right, now let's talk some Bitcoin. One quick clarification here. I am now on the 4-hour time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 4 hours instead of 30 minutes. And that's because Bitcoin is open 24/7, and I want this video to remain relevant for as long as possible. So by looking at some longer time frames and then walking you through some general questions, I'll be able to keep this relevant for as long as possible. But yeah, Bitcoin has had quite the very, very poor movement, assuming you're bullish since the last update I did. So the first couple of questions here, question number one being, so let's just say you're watching this video 20 hours after I upload it. Question one, where is the price at relative to the pink line right there, 200 period moving average, which is right now valid at 98,000. We'll just call it 300. If you're saying in any way, shape, or form that the price is above there, that is a good thing, because that would at minimum imply that this downwards movement has leveled out and made its way upwards here a little bit. So even if it's just right there, still very, very good. That would imply, like I said, some good things going on for the bulls. Now, if you're saying, well, Clay, actually the price is still down below that pink line. Okay, just to make sure things haven't totally spun out of control, where's the price at relative to 92,000? And if some way, and I'd be pretty surprised, but if somehow you're answering the question, the price is also down below 92,000, that implies things have not gotten better at all for Bitcoin. In fact, things have spun just totally out of control, and that would be a very dangerous, very that'd be a very bad situation. But again, I highly doubt you're going to be answering the question that the price is down below 92,000. Really, the main dynamic for me is, where is the price at relative to that purple line? And just common sense goes a long way. The further the price is above that purple line, that implies things are starting to get better for the bulls. But the further the price gets below that purple line, again, I'm not going to say disaster. The disaster point is down there at 92,000. But it is to say the further the price gets away, further below that purple line there, that does imply that the disaster is getting potentially closer, because the further it gets away from the purple line, the closer it gets to that level right there. But at the end of the day, keep an eye on that purple line. Where's the price at relative to this? And we'll see if the Bitcoin bulls can get this bleeding to stop. And as I invited the stock traders, I'm inviting you as a Bitcoin and crypto trader to definitely get signed up for this free live webinar, because what you'll learn about can and certainly should be used within the world of Bitcoin and crypto also. So like I said, it'll be relatively soon, Thursday, January 9th at 8 p.m. Eastern time. I hope to see you there. And as I mentioned, if you enjoy these top 10 videos, if you appreciate me doing Bitcoin and you want to support the channel in an easy way, please hit that subscribe button. Like I said, it really does help out. So thanks for watching, and go get signed up for that free class.